Hello again, this is Old Man PHP. I create PHP video tutorials for you guys who want to learn a new skill and compete with the young crowd. This is video 124K, as you can see. I want to apologize to you in YouTube. I was supposed to drop this video earlier today. I've been kind of lacking a little bit because I've been getting sick. I'm trying to get my health back on track so that I can, provide 2 videos a week. On my last video, it was about everything that we're doing right now is about the inventory system. On the last one, we talked about, I completely forgot what we talked about. Well, in this one, what I want to do is talk about the transaction table. Remember, we created several tables. And let me see if I can show you what I mean. I created, let's see. Let's see if this will work that way. That didn't work out too well, did it? And we had the transaction ID, UDFK, type, exchange, date. This is like the one this is one of the entries. Like I did it, I wanted this is the 3, this is the 24. It's one of the actual, I don't know if I can move this a little bit, maybe. Maybe I can move this up a little bit, maybe. I don't know. Let's see if it'll work out. I kind of went like that. No, it does not work out that way, does it? One day when I get a better computer, like I told you, I want to complain. I don't want to sound like a broken record. Anyway, when we created the find item page, right? See how we had so many different things. We got new items, stuff like that, right? And then we had the categories, and of course, we only got 2 really. Suppliers, only got 1. When I figure which ones are the good ones, I'll add them in. But for the time being, because we're just practicing, we just keep it this way, right? And then we have the transaction table, and that's what gives you this, which I just talked about. Oh, why did I come back that way? I don't know. Anyway, so what I did was, this is the dashboard, and you've seen the dashboard, right? I'm going to give it to you again. Kind of starts out like this. This is for the search. When you're using this for the search, it calls itself, and then it searches and gives you that information. We already saw that already. And of course, you got your tokens as you add new items. And we're going to the master template for that one. This is what HTML looks like with Bootstrap and classes, for the CSS. And this is what it looks like. The dashboard. A little crazy, but this is what it looks like. I think this is the name of the thing, but I'm not too sure. I don't think so. That's just a practice thing. Let me see. Then it goes to the block, and this is when you hit the multiple button that gives you the rest of the input form. I'll show you that in a second. Here's your update, and it goes also to the master template. See, got your unit prices, description, blah blah blah, location, reorder point, location, and of course the supplier ID for the supplier. And then you got the update button at the database. You see that already. You got your cancel, which calls action, which is also a file that does a bunch of stuff for you, but I'm only using it for maybe one or two things, or whenever I want to, because right now I'm just using this just for canceling. And let me see, this form, let me see, let's go to form. Let's see, how many do we have? Well, that's a lot. I'm gonna go over here. Let's move this up a bit. Like that. Let's go to the form. Okay. This form, right, is to add the new record, which happens to be this one right here. Remember how we add username, password. We go, oops. Why does it do that? Okay, just wait. Okay, good. See how you got this right here? This is a form. This is actually a form. And this is a form. Well, not a form. Yes, it is. Because you got these guys, and then these will all go to separate parts of the master template. This is what it looks like. I know you've seen it. I've been showing you HTML for a long time. And then you got your tokens here for the dashboard. All this. And then, of course, you got your PHP that was embedded within the HTML form. And it also calls master templates. And if you go more deeper down, this one, the cancel, we saw that action. Okay, that goes to that one. B, and this is just to give you what it looks like. That's what this is. And you have your button. Now this one says action. That's one would be, what would be the multiple button, because it'll call to action and do some few things, right? And the rest will go to master template, which is the delete. And what else do you have? And you have all this. So what I did was, let's go to the action file. This one right here. That one that we just talked about is for selecting. Did I use it already? Where is it? This is the update. Okay, for here. So it goes here, finds this, opens it up, and it gives me the dashboard. That's why you got, when you hit the multiple, you say okay, and you got this window. See, because it goes back, and it's kind of crazy, but this is kind of how we do things. You don't have to use one file. Like the master template can do a lot of things, but you have to do everything in the master template. So I had to do that for the search, because I was doing the search here. I also had it set up in the master template, but decided to leave it inside the dashboard, which is what you see. No, it's not the dashboard. What you see right here. Okay. And we already talked about this, and we need to talk about that now. But right now I'm talking about the actual transaction. The reason why we did the transaction is because if you're going to input something in, or delete something, or update something, you want a transaction just to keep track of that. Oh, I'm going to add another field. I'm going to add another field to the transaction, because what I want to do is I want to have it not just numbers, but I would like to have an explanation why you're doing it. So we're going to add that in there. And then, so we're here. I don't need to do this because I'm not doing any of this. Let's cancel that. Now, I've been adding all kinds of stuff. And as you can see, the name of the, see? you keep adding, it goes like this. But if you wanted to know the rest of this stuff, or you just wanted to change the quantity, just hit the edit button. But if you want to change a lot of stuff, use the multiple button. But if you wanted to get rid of these things because you no longer want them, just hit the delete. Everything works. Everything works. Even the low stock reports. I keep talking about the same thing, right? So what happened was when I created a thing, like maybe we could just, no, we'll leave it like this for the time being, right? Let's go to the, because I want to build, when we were building that transaction, right? See, let me see how can I explain this. So when you're building a professional grade inventory system, there are a few missing pieces that we would need to do. Like right now, I tried doing as many as I can. Like I did this one, of course, the product, not the product. Was it a product? I'm using products. Let me see. Am I? Or is that something else? Yeah, that might be for something else. But that's a good idea to have anyway. And because the fine item is doing everything. That's the whole product situation. This is why you got the foreign keys, because it went to the. But I also want to add the, which I did already, the minimal threshold, right? It's right now at 0 right now because it's not being used. But and it will when we get it all completely done. But the master, here's the master. I did. Let's get rid of this. When we did the master, right? I had a whole bunch of stuff. Let's say open the database. I mean, I'm not gonna go through all this again. Remember, it checks for the honey pots. I'm gonna go slowly. And then what I did was the filter, right? Because when you want to make the transaction table truly like useful for auditing and like low stock reports like you've been working on, like I suggest that you always add like 3 columns, like the user ID, what you call it, that you already have for the sesh base login system, which I already had that. Store who made the changes, right? You want notes. I guess that's what I would do. I will add notes, right? And I probably will do that. I'll make it into a var character of 255. I would just say text, right? So if somebody does like an adjustment, like you want to know why that you're doing something, that you want to keep track of what that field is. Because right now, the way I have it, because I've been playing around with it. What is it? Transaction right here. It's only the transaction, but okay. I got this, and this is what happened. What was the type? It was the in type, but I still need to know why. Why is it that we needed to do that change? And it probably will fix it. I'll have more comments onto the master template to let you know what in and out is, because if you go to the structure right here, the emulating, I think that's what it's called. You got your in and out, the adjustment, and the reason, which is 4 of them. It's just a way of like when you enter information into this, depends on what you're doing. Like right now it was in, right? And it picked in because that's what we were doing. So if you go to the master, believe me when I tell you, on the very last one, I'm completely with this in the reports part of it. Then I will sit down and kind of like break it. But right now I'm just breaking a bunch of stuff for you. Like for instance, the filter, right? Because we needed to, like the old quantity, we gotta always add that new quantity. That's what the quantity changes, right? That's like storing the snapshot of a quantity before and after the change, making for like makes debugging the inventory much easier, to check out, right? So what I did was I updated the master template to like automate the transaction logging. So that way because I was gonna do it a certain way. I was gonna do the input, but I am doing it. It's just doing it differently. Instead of you okay, I just add it, and then you going ahead and do it. It's doing it automatically, right? So when you need, so that's why I needed it. I have the delete, I have the update, and of course items that you're adding to the find items. I could have said inventory. Why I didn't use that, I don't know. I guess I just wanted to throw people off, which is a good idea. So if I updated the logic gate in the master template, which is this right here, see what I did was I added filters, and these are filters that will be used. If you're gonna do the search, right, you're gonna use the item name. These are filters. In other words, you know that the item name is special characters. It's just regular. That's the new way of doing it. You're sanitizing this. All this is for to sanitize, right? This, let me see. Where's the part that does? Well, I'll show you in a second. This is the sanitizing. So then you got your prices, your unit prices, description, right? Remember the reorder point that I had to add, added the location, because as I go, like even though I did a whole flow chart, it's always something that you're gonna remember. Like, wait a minute, why if? And then if you work with so few people, they'll tell you, hey, but what happens if? And I will tell you that he will tell you some stuff, and some other people give you some advice. You're the one's building it, but it's good to listen to a lot of different people, because I do inventory stuff, I do it like I would normally do, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot more, especially when you're dealing with stores, right? Like big supermarkets and stuff. So in this one, I added the location. I think it was these guys that I had at one point. These were here from the original. Then remember this one, the token. This is the find me, because I use find me for the buttons. This is the item ID, the actual ID of this item thing. Then I did the supply. Remember how the supply, you added the foreign key. Of course, I added that. That's in it. You do so every time you add something, or you're gonna use something. Like for instance, notes. I didn't have that. I didn't even have type, like to filter. So I add these so that the transaction data is sanitized, because I'm using the transaction data tables, and I'm using this to update that. And then you got to do the helper, right, which is the function that I created to help me with a lot of this stuff. Because when you add something and you delete something, especially when you add something to the database, which looks like this now, it will add something to the transaction. Now, is it connecting? Don't know. Yeah, not yet anyway. I just told these people that I was going to be recording. See, nobody listens to me, I tell you. Anyway, so then you do that, right? So the transaction helper, it's like a function. So what I did was I added, the more you add some new things, always have it filtered out. Now in this price, remember this price and the unit price, I added another array into this array, because the filter for this one is, of course, is a floating point, because we're talking about numbers, right? Because you got the dot, but you also got to put the flags, and this is why I did it like this. And same thing with the unit price. Everything else can just be init, right? Like integer, and of course characters. And that's basically it. And of course, remember we talked about this, the data source method. If it finds it that it's a post, this is what it'll be using. And if you find that you're doing a get, it'll use this. Right? We saw that. That's what the map array does. Puts all these things together. Over here, you're checking to see if everything is blank. We talked about this already. And then we do the try, which we read the select. I'm going to tell you the select works, but now I'm using the one from the actual dashboard. I'm using that one, but I have that same idea right here, and it works. I just wanted to use the other one. Maybe it's missing something why I haven't. Well, I'm gonna have to test it out anyway. Get rid of the other one. Not get rid of the other one, but just point to this one and see if it'll do my search the way I want it. And then, of course, you got your insert, right? It checks to see if you got that set for you. Make sure that the form method is post. And then, of course, you got your input, right? Your input information that you're going to need to put into a variable because you're picking that up from the database. And then you insert it. Remember how we did this? And you do the placeholder, right? So then I added a whole other stuff before, and that's what that is. And then this is the little thing I added. I added this piece right here. Where is it? It checks it out. Okay, right here. Now see this right here? This is a built-in method that kind of reads. Oh, matter of fact, I wrote it down right here. We perform insert update table with auto increment field that we can retrieve the ID. So this is what gives you that last one, and that's what this is, right? Then this is the log transaction with some arguments that just sending over. Now this is a function, right? And you say, okay, let's go down the line. Let's find that function. Remember the update? This is what does the update right here. I guess we went through this already. And then we go the quantity. Oh yeah, I added this too right here. The log, the change, because every time you're going to do a change to a, you always want for it to be what's the difference between the quantity and the old quantity. So when you add, but that one we're not gonna break it down too much now because, like I said, when the time comes, I'll have that for you. I might even add some other things here, like some comments, so you can understand. And this is the difference. Trying to find out if it's not equal to 0, fine. It goes like this, and if it's in stock, it'll tell you that it's in stock, and if it's out of stock, it'll tell you what's out of stock. And this is the actual transaction function that is reading, you're logging it, you're doing it, and you're saying, well, you got it right here, and then you got it up here. Where is it? Well, after I did the where is it? See this try? You have to do it right after the try. So instead of having it in within, oh, try this. See, the try all this. And if there's a problem, the catch will give you an error, right? If there's a problem. So I make sure that I put it right after the catch. See, this is the catch. And I put it right here. And this is the transaction helper function. And this adds this function to the bottom of the file because it makes it easier for you to find it. Every time you're going to create functions that you're going to use, like for instance a helper or any other ones, just put it to the bottom of your if statement. Depends on what you're doing. Remember, it depends on what you're doing. And right now, look at this. It's inserting into the transaction this information. Soon it'll be the reason. We'll put it right here, the reason. And they'll find when we do the changes, what we do is, like for instance, if like right now I would say delete, I would say well, it will delete. You're gonna say we just delete it. And then if you want to change something, like you want to edit, then we'll hook it up so that will say, well, we will, like something that will pop up. Let's say, well, why are you changing? And then just put it in, and it puts it in for you. We'll do that too. That would be nice. But for now, it works out. Since it just gives you the thing, because I wanted the mechanism to work. And once you got every mechanism working, then you can say, okay, I can add some few things to it and everything else, right? So now if I went to the dashboard, which this happens to be the dashboard, you go to the bottom, you're gonna see the new, remember this, the edit item that you're calling JavaScript to do? I added several other things. See, I added the method post, I added this here. I know this is not a JavaScript thing, I get it. But when you're gonna start messing around with different things, you would need to add these little things to help out with JavaScript, because JavaScript, it stops. Remember what I told you to do? Right now, it's not doing the bad word. Like if I did a bad word right now, let me see. Like this. See, it won't do anything because you don't got it set up. But I can do that. I can also add, it's called the blacklist. Remember we talked about it a few videos ago. It'll probably be added to it because you don't want nobody putting in there. But basically, when you do these kind of things, it's really for the people that's inside, right? I mean, this is not an outside. This is more an internet. I mean, yeah. This is not what is it? This is not a thing that you're gonna put out for people, because see, right now, let me get out of here. If I log out of here, see this? You're not gonna do this. This is for somebody that, like, if you're working for a company, you set this up, you give them the username. You're not gonna put a little box. Now, if it's like a lot of people, few people, they're gonna be doing this, then you put the entered, which will probably be done. I probably will do that for, because I want to add that. Plus, I also want to do reports, because I want the reports to. Let me see. I want not. It won't be here. This is just a stock report, but I would like to have some buttons where it just gives you, where like takes you to a page, and then the page will have, it's a dashboard just like this, and it will have like a bunch of buttons, right? And if say you wanted to do like how many did you add or whatever it is, I'll think about it. What I'm thinking about is having the buttons up here and then having the results of the button below. That will be good. Or in a way that we can say, hey, which, we're going to have to do that. We're going to have to do the mail. How to mail in something. Like, in other words, if somebody added an item, which will be you, the guy who's actually using this application, then I want that. I want to know about it, since I will be the project manager of this whole thing, or whoever it is, you know what I mean? Because you want an email going to that person. So I'll add that into it. But right now, the basic stuff: adding items, searching for items, editing this part, editing multiple things, deleting this. This one is just giving you if it's a low stock report, which is okay. I will have some more. You'll see. It'll be fun, and it'll be a full blown. It's almost there, my friends. It's almost there. It's almost there. Somebody was telling me that, why am I sharing like a whole blown thing? I'm like, whoa, why not? Well, somebody's gonna take it and they're gonna turn it around and then make an application out of it and take the credit for it, and that's it. Then you'll be. I'm like, well, yeah, I understand that, but my thing is to show people how to get it done. You know what I mean? I already have my time. Is to do all kinds of stuff, because I want to do this. I want to. Once we do this, we're gonna work on the other one, which is my website. We're gonna do that one. We're gonna be using PHP for that, most of it too. That's gonna be a whole thing. And then I want to do one for a long time ago. I worked for a company that didn't have. We were building the data. What was it? Data center. They didn't have how to keep track of tapes when they were doing backups and stuff. I built up this whole thing for them. It was more kind of like this type of thing, but I want to put more sophistication too, because I want to have the same type of thing that I'm doing here. I want to have it there too. So I'll show you how that's done. And then we're going to have to move on to the WordPress stuff, because building a WordPress theme from scratch. Remember, it's PHP. We're using PHP to build WordPress stuff. And it's a good idea to know these things too. Plus, I want to have it all done, because I like to have a list. I want my website to have all the things that that I've done. you know, pay and free stuff. Okay, so again, when you do insert stuff from the, you gotta always insert to the log. So if you're inserting, this is what I wanted to. Oh yeah, oops. You know what we could do? I'll tell you, man. Wait, where is it? This is a lot we have to do with that. Okay, right here you insert. After you do the insertion, you do your placeholder. This will be the bind value. Remember that bind was the other way of doing it. You just go, then you do this part, which gives you the last, which was the one you just added. Because when you insert, let's say if you have 1, 2, 5 records, and then the one that you just inserted, it will be the 6th record. This will have the number 6 right in it. So now you're passing on the PDO stuff, the number 6, and then you're going to say it's in because I'm adding into it. And that's why you see it there as in. And then you take this, which is a function, you're sending in the arguments, and then it goes all the way down here. Where is it? Right here. It does this, adds this information, and inserts it for you. You see this? And again, like I said, soon we'll have the comment. Why are you doing this? Because I would like to know. I'm pretty sure people would like to know that you deleted, but why did you delete it? Did we tell you to delete these things? Well, we deleted this product because we're not using it anymore and it's already out of stock. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but we got to be sure before you do anything. That's why it's important that you send this to an email. And we'll get that done. We'll have it all done completely. Right now, it's a full-blown thing. You can even leave it like this, and later on, as you get better at this, you can do this. Oh, wait a minute, I'll tell you why. I'm going to clean this out a little bit. Why is it that? The reason why I put a lot of space into these things is because I want to be able to read it. Because I'd be like, what did I do here? You know what I mean? That kind of thing. And I need more comments. I know I do, but sometimes, you know what you do? Once we build these, but if for some reason, man, I'm going to have some stuff in Patreon that you just add, there's going to be some special things, and I'll have it in Patreon. I'm going to have to do that because right now, people say, well, you're showing way too much, but I'm training. That's the whole point. You say, yeah, but training is one thing, but building the whole thing of a simple, like a simple application is one thing, but you're building a full thing. I'm like, I don't understand why people get so upset at me, I'm like, I thought I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing the nice thing, I don't know, man. Anyway, it's just the way it is. So I'm going to have to build the Patreon account. And if you need like the complete special thing, I don't know, in this particular project, I'm going to have to do the whole thing. Just show you. That's it. But if you get to the point that now you, my wife and everybody else does, I built this, I made a contract with somebody, a business, to do a certain amount of work. And they realize it and all that. But I kept looking at, okay, if you want Google to look at your stuff, Google wants to see that you're providing content. They want to make sure that your HTML files are up to code and that you're doing everything you can to provide speed on your PHP stuff. No redundancy, you know what I mean? I don't mean by redundancy as I mean no duplicates, I should say. Right? And you want to do it right. Because when I did the other one with the form with the watercolors, but that one has everything. You can check for this, check for trimming. But in this particular case, I trimmed it all. I did everything into these special things, arrays, you know. So that way I didn't have to do. So I actually, look at this. If I had to do it the other way, instead of being 325 lines, which is, this is a stupid line, but it's still part of it, right? Instead of, because right now, look, this would be something like 500 lines. But I trimmed it down because I didn't want to use, I said, you know, now I think you guys are ready. I mean, because so many videos, I'm pretty sure you get, now, you know, my teaching thing is, hey, you're sitting next to me, I'm teaching you what to do is, and you're going to pick it up. I try not to do like the way teachers do it in the real school, which puts you to sleep, those kind of things. I just try to make it like that. I know me going back and forth like this, I know it makes you dizzy, but don't worry, the time comes, I'm going to have everything and then just pick it out of there. Right now I can just provide little pieces of it. Now for the update part, I did the same thing. If I went, let me see, where is the, okay, here's the update part, right? So you select, which is this part here. You see this fetch column, it just fetched that one column. That's it. It's just a method that's built in, right? And then it goes into here. This is the old quality. Remember the old quantity that you're gonna when you add the new one, it does the, what is that, subtraction? Where is it? Like right here. See? So this is your quantity. So that's the difference right here. And if you say if the difference is less, not equal to 0, if it's not equal to 0, then of course you do this, you do that. If it's, basically what I'm trying to say, what is it, the logic termination here? What is it? I'm trying to see what I do. When you do this, okay, it's in stock, that means it's cool. If it's greater than 0, of course it's in stock, that's okay. And then of course you got your transaction. And this information will also go to the transaction table. So when you add something, and I'm going to test that at another time, but, and delete too, which once I delete, like right here, see how I delete it? I'm going to have this, where are we? I'm not going to use that one, I don't like, that one is just for that, right here, see? What I'm going to do is, I'm going to use this idea, this technique right here, look. And then I'm going to put it over here. Where are we? Delete. You know, there's people that's, you know what's weird? That the other day, I mean, it's late at night. Maybe a little quick story. I mean, I don't scare anybody, but man, I'm talking about 10 o'clock at night, and I kind of got woken, and I hear these kids playing around outside. Like, I live in a nice place. It's all grass and all kinds of stuff. It's like, it's apartment buildings, but not like huge ones. Really nice. It's they got expensive. It's expensive, but there's also, let's put it this way: the cheapest apartment is like $1,600. How about that? And it goes up to over 3,000. So the thing is, so I'm looking right up, like say, and I hear these kids playing outside. Like, what? How is this possible? I look at the time, like, what am I? So I go look. I don't see. I go to the back. I go to the back. The windows in the back points to the parking lot, and I'm like, okay, I don't see no parents. Then I look up there because I know these people that have little kids, and I'm looking. I was like, where are they? And it was like 2 little kids. They were wearing a yellow. No, it was more like It had yellow markings, but like the hood was black, and I don't know, it looked like raincoats to me, and they were playing around. So then I like wake my wife up. I go wake her up. I'm saying, look, I don't understand this other. So I look at the other windows on the side of the house. I don't see them. I'm like, where did they go? So then I go to the front, and I'm like, and then I go to the back. I said, well, then maybe the mother just, from those people across, maybe she just came out and just did that. When, I don't know. It was just the most strangest thing. Anyway, didn't mean to spook anybody up. It's just the strangest thing, man. I don't know. It's just the most strangest thing. Alright, so I'm putting the spaces here so that we can see it better. Okay, and what happens is once we delete, where are we? We will put it right in here. Where is it? We'll put it right here. Like that. This would be, the item will be this item. I don't know how I'm going to do this one. This part right here is going to be, it's here. We don't need to do that, so I'll take that out. And then what I'll do is, I'm not going to test this out right now because I want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing, because I might have to change this. This one will be the word out, like that. And in the quantity, I really need to know what that is. I don't know. I will have to look. Maybe, yeah, why not? It would be okay to have the one. We'll do the quantity, the new. You know, matter of fact, let's bring this back up. This because, you know, it will give me the last. No, it won't. It won't give me the last. What happens is you do this PDO. This is your execution. That does the job for you. We don't need this. And what I'll do is I'll fix this. Do you want to put quantity? I don't know. I'll have an explanation or something what that is. And we're going to fix this up so it'll look good. PDO, why will, oh, you know something? That, yeah, we possibly can. Well, you know something? I'm going to comment this out because right now I don't want this to work. Once I get it down to the point, I'll let you know on the next video what I did to make sure that even the delete gets in there. Anyway, I hope you kind of learned something from this. I will show you the whole thing. I will take my time because right now I'm kind of going fast. And of course I'll do the, what is it? The open of the database. Remember, because we create a function, right? So you're gonna do that, and then that's it basically. Then that's all I got to. That's all I got for today because I don't want. I'm going off right on tandem here. I don't want to. Anyway, look how nice that looks. Look how beautiful that looks. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make sure that I get all my suppliers and categories because there's gonna be another. Another set of these things, another part of the, you know, that's what it is. What we do is, what we can do now is we can say, let's add, we can have this whole thing for the final thing, right? But we can also have it for the categories and supplier, because normally you work with people that are like database people and you tell them, okay, this is what I want you to add this category, and you give them this and they go ahead and do it. Oh my god, I got a spider right on my wall here. and then to do the same thing with that. But what happens if they're not around? You need this. So what we're going to do is, the way we have it set up like this is going to be for those two other tables. Because this is a table, and that's a table too. And we'll have it right in here. We'll have a button that will say, we could say here supplier, and we could say here categories, and you hit supply, you're gonna get a whole set. You're gonna get a same type of window from here on like this to, you can even something set up like this, and we'll do the same thing with the category. Yeah, that's what we'll do. It'll be great. It'll be a completely full blown. I didn't have to do that because I really didn't want to. Because every time I said to myself, "Oh, let's build something that we could do it to an app, and you can put it on the phone, and people can take care of this stuff, and if they want to search a product or something that's in the house, just go like this, and it points to where that thing is at the house." But I figured the way I do things, I go, but what happens when you need this? And just like I said, just like how I explained. What happens if the DP guy's not around? What are you going to do? The DBA, what are you going to do? Well, I guess I can go ahead and do it. I'll do it myself, and that's it. And you do it yourself. That would be great. I love it. I love it. I'm going to do that. I definitely will be doing that. That's going to be fantastic. This will be the dashboard. It's just another section. Yeah, I was thinking of, yeah, we don't want it down there because it'll be way too much. This always gives you the top part, I guess. Maybe we could always keep, that's a good question. The pagination, I just thought about, we should be starting to do those things too. Because do you really want to see a whole bunch like that? Maybe I just want to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Maybe 10. And then that's it. Go to the next page and see the next 10, that kind of thing. That's what probably we would do. Let's get out of this. That's it. We've reached the end. And hopefully, you picked something up from this. And that give me a thumbs up. That way I can keep at it. And hopefully I get all these things done. Because see this, we're having a conversation and I just thought about one thing, boom. Now we know that has to be expanded. I know you say to yourself, well, 124K, now what are you going to keep doing to it? It depends on how much it is. I just wanted to keep it as inventory at 124. That's why I left it like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I also want to talk about other things. And once you get that done, that will be good. Now the data structure, there's a file called data structure.txt. I've been showing that, and I also been showing the hash pass for your password situation. But there will be a time when we need to put in the person that wants to join in. And that probably will go through. I will probably end up doing that too, because you do want to improve on that. Let me see, because we want to see about the current stock, right? Status. It's like the bread and the bread and butter report that shows the low stock alerts, items below a specific threshold, right? How about out of stock when your immediate priority of items, your total inventory value, like what is it called? Normally you would say calculated by quantity multiplied by the unit price. I guess that would be. I will have to talk more to a person that actually sells and stuff. That was like big supermarkets. Transaction history, right? That's the inflow and outflow, and the chronological log to see how items are moving. That would be another good thing. We like to filter by maybe a date range, essentially foreseeing what happens, what happened last week maybe versus what's going on, I don't know, last month, or what's going to happen in the futures. I mean, I know I'm asking for too much, but or total items received or versus the total items issued, that helps identify peak periods. That will be good, but that's a different build. And that will, not different build. It'll be part of this whole system, but it would just take a lot more time. And in that case, I will have to do for those special, for all these things that I mentioned. We're gonna provide Patreon. And you can just be part of the members. You can get the rest of the stuff. But having it the way it is now, you're gonna be all right. Just once you get this built and you do have it in your company or your friends or whatever, then you can just start thinking about how you're gonna provide all the things that I kind of mentioned. And you know, you want to, because you want to do inventory aging, right? Like this helps you identify like the dead stock stuff. That's like, yeah, basically can't sell these things. Maybe there's items that have been sitting in the shelves for too long and aren't moving. You know, maybe you want to do some few things with that. So you just have to have a strategy to implement a lot of this stuff. Like for the front end, we can use like a simple bootstrap card type thing, the layout where each card represents a different report type, right? And when the user clicks on a button of the card, it can either, I don't know, open a model, with the table, data table, or we could have something like navigate to a dedicated PHP subpage with filtering options. Those are times that you can start thinking about, just go back and forth with all the stuff I just said. And a quick tip for the close that comes next, when you're pulling these sums and totals, that you would try to do as much heavy lifting possible using the SQL. And we'll be doing that now because you want to be using the sum, the count, and you want to be grouped by these things that you use with the SQL, right? Or MySQL in this case. Rather than just processing large arrays in PHP, that will keep it'll keep the page snappy as the database grows. Yeah, some good stuff to think about. I'm gonna put it, something, all the stuff that I just talked about, I'll just put it in the description below, man. Because you know why? Maybe that will be part of I'm gonna have to think about the other video. Improve that up, the form. I'd like to improve that form. The form is pretty good. I mean, let me see. If you came here, I know I was gonna go, but it's just real quick. That's what happens, man. You're sitting next to me. Let's go. That's the insert stuff. This is the offset right here. You get this, you do that, you get the boxes. Yeah, I mean, I'm doing. There's a lot of things we could do. A lot of things to make it into. You start to think about, doing all these things, but wow, that's a great idea, man. All right, guys, I'm gonna have to let you go because I'm rambling. I'm like. Ideas just popping into my head. I wanna start writing these things down. Anyway, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you like this content. If you don't, hey, it's cool, man. But give me a thumbs up. It kind of helps out with me. And until next time, man. A good night.